Hello, welcome back, Recapped Mystery here. Today, I'm going to explain a French horror thriller film called Evolution. Watch out and take care. Nicholas is a sickly young child who lives with his mother by the sea. Nicholas sees what appears to be a dead boy with a red starfish on his tummy while swimming in the sea one day. Nicholas rushes across the stark dark rocks of his town seashore to inform his mother of his finding. Mom immediately goes underwater and returns the starfish, but she informs him that there is no dead body there. Nicholas is served slimy dishes for supper, and his mother administers medication to him. Nicholas inquires of his mother about his illness. His mother says that all of the males on this island need treatment since their bodies alter and weaken as they age. Later that night, all of the island's mothers are spotted gathering somewhere. They're heading to the beach. Then Nicholas' mother returns the dead body Nicholas observed earlier, and the other mothers surround it. Nicholas plays with his starfish the next day. He becomes enraged and strikes another youngster after another boy mocks him for being terrified of it. Later, he slices one of the starfish's limbs off. His mother brings him to the hospital after his outburst for routine monitoring. A doctor injects a yellow liquid into Nicholas' stomach at the hospital. He is then told to stay in the hospital for one night. Nicholas is later placed in a hospital with other boys who have undergone similar operations. They begin to wonder what illness they are suffering from. The scene at night depicts nurses watching recordings of cesarean sections being performed. Nicholas gets discharged from the hospital the next day. He begins to accuse his mother and the nurses of deception. Victor pays a visit to his friend's residence, and they sneak out in the middle of the night to see what the mothers are doing. However, Victor becomes afraid on the way and returns home. Nicholas continues his journey in search of the truth. When he arrives, he is taken aback by what he sees. He notices the women laying naked together in the mud, writhing around and exchanging an object from one to the other. He quickly returns home. He gets a glimpse at his mother as she showers off the muck a few hours later at home. He notices that she appears to have suckers on her back. Nicholas is offered an ultrasound when he returns to the hospital. They hear a fetus heartbeat. Much to his mother's delight, Nicholas is then led to a room where he will spend the night awaiting the final surgery. He meets other children in the room, including his best friend, Victor. Victor gets operated on later that night. Following the operation, a creature is extracted from his stomach and placed in a container. Victor passes away during the operation. In the morning, Nicholas inquires about Victor's location with the nurse. The nurse both lies and tells the truth. Victor is recuperating. A nurse enters the ward with a conch shell, claiming Victor sent it to them. Nicholas's mother pays him a visit and provides him food. He, on the other hand, refuses to eat what she feeds him. He accuses her of not being his mother as she grows emotional and begins to rummage through his notebook. They then sedate him and take his painting book away. In the hospital, Nicholas befriends one of the nurses, Stella, who appears to be taken with Nicholas. Stella steals Nicholas' crayons and doodles beside him. Among Nicholas' drawings are a dead boy and starfish, as well as a bicycle, a car, a building and a giraffe. Stella then reveals a secret to him. She gives Nicholas a file containing photographs of women with suckers on their backs, including one of a little girl. She brings him down to the sea that night, shows him the suckers on her back, and lets him touch them before lowering him into the water. However, Nicholas passes out from being in the water for too long. Stella performs CPR on him right away. Nicholas returns to the hospital. He sneaks into another room at night and meets one of the boys. When Nicholas approaches, the boy places his hand on his stomach and feels movement in the boy's body. Nicholas begins to puke after being forced to press on his stomach. Nicholas flees in terror and enters a different room. He notices one of the youngsters floating in a tank in that room. Soon later, he is apprehended by a nurse, and he is escorted to the operating room for the final surgery. Nicholas awakens in a tank following surgery. He is restrained, and he notices two newborns inside the tank with him. He faints as a result of his horror upon seeing this. Nicholas awakens and finds himself back by the water with Stella. They enter the water again, but this time she rubs her mouth against his as she swims alongside him, providing him air to breathe underwater. She propels him to the surface, and the two find themselves in a small rowboat drifting away from the island. Stella sneaks back into the sea, presumably to return to the island. After ensuring Nicholas has a drink of fresh water, Nicholas remains aboard the boat and, by dusk, finds himself nearing a huge city's harbor. That brings the film to a close. Here comes the explanation. The story takes place by the shore, where we watch a tribe of humanoids going about their daily lives. As you can see, this location solely features young boys and female grown-ups. There are no young girls or masculine adults. The female adults, as seen later in the film, have suckers on their backs, indicating that they are humanoid water-based life forms that breathe underwater. These humanoids are the outcome of starfish development. Adults of this species can only reproduce asexually because there are no adult men. It appears that the only way to have children is to externally create zygotes and place them in the tummies of young lads. These males' bodies appear to be capable of hosting the fetus till one point. Following that, the fetuses must be surgically removed and grown externally. If the boy's body survives, he is sometimes placed in a tank where the fetus grows externally in the water while still linked to the kid. Nicholas, as seen in the film, is administered medication on a daily basis. This is to get his body ready to host the fetus. He is admitted when the time comes, and the zygote is implanted into him. Other boys on the island are being treated similarly. We can presume that all of those young males are constantly kidnapped from cities and taken to the seashore location. Nicholas' sketch is not only a dead child and starfishes in the film, but also a bicycle, a car, a skyscraper, and a giraffe. Nicholas is drawing these from memory because they are not available in the village. This implies that he was abducted as a baby and transported there. However, the boys grow up knowing very little about their origins. Nicholas first notices a dead body near the opening of the film. We can presume he died while attempting to flee, and the women chose to keep it a secret. We also show the women sleeping together, writhing around in the mud, and passing an object from one to the other in the film. This is essentially a birth reproduction ritual. Having a kid among them sends those women into a maternal frenzy, causing them to create zygotes, which are then collected and injected into males in order to impregnate them. In another scene, we see the humanoids watching a video of a cesarean operation. This is how they figured out how to cut the abdomens without harming the fetuses. It appears that the humanoids frequently get the cesarean cut wrong and murder the host child. This is demonstrated by Victor's death following the operation. However, they are occasionally able to cut precisely and transfer the host into the incubation tank. This occurs to Nicholas, who survives the surgery. Once within, the fetuses grow quickly, and the host survives, possibly to be implanted with another zygote later. Stella, who sincerely loves Nicholas, decides to save him towards the end of the film. She then gets Nicholas out of the house and brings him to a boat. This appears to be how humanoids travel and penetrate human towns to steal children. As darkness falls, Nicholas notices that he is approaching the shore of a human metropolis. We can expect him to be rescued and reunited with his biological parents. Please subscribe to assist the channel, turn on notification and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.